Hello, 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 hello. Make sure I got my mic on this properly here. Can't hear anything. Hello. All right, we're good. How's everybody doing? Hope you guys had a great weekend. Boy, today certainly turned out to be a gorgeous day. We were in the swimming pool for about 3 hours. It's just a fabulous day out there. And now I'm just kind of relaxing. It feels great. The temperatures are nice and cool. I was looking at the radar. Remember earlier today I said that, 95% of you weren't going to see much today, but there was going to be one or two of you where, maybe you get a little unlucky and you pick up a pop-up shower storm. There happens to be one of them just over my shoulder here. It's just now crossing over the Delaware River. Should pass by north of me, but there was a quick downpour there. But other than that, oh my goodness, what an incredible day, and no severe weather today. And this begins a stretch of just ridiculously awesome weather for us. We so need the break, right? So today was good. Tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, all incredible days. Enjoy it. Morning lows, and I'm going to show you this here in a second, are so nice. We're talking about overnight lows in the 50s for 3 straight mornings. Really, really nice, except for the city. You know how the urban areas work, always a little bit warmer there. So, where Philadelphia is, Philly Northeast, that area, maybe all the way down. Chester will probably cool down, but let's say from Chester all the way up to maybe Levittown, that I-95 corridor stretch, likely staying in the 60s for overnight lows. But all the surrounding suburbs, yeah, you're dropping down into the 50s for like 3 mornings in a row. It's going to be great. And then we got to talk about Thursday. We've mentioned this El Nino. You guys have seen it in action all summer long. And this is the pattern, unfortunately, that we're dealing with here, is the hits just keep on coming. Next up is going to be Thursday. And the million-dollar question here is going to be, how big, how impactful of a day is Thursday going to be? It's not a front coming through, but it is sort of a piece of energy from the south, which is the same exact storm track that we're kind of monitoring for the upcoming winter season. This kind of, I guess you could say, it develops off the Pacific, runs across the southern tier, and then boom, comes right up. Okay, so this is a little piece of energy off the subtropical jet, just going to come right up the coast, and it could bring a lot of very heavy rain to parts of the area, and it could bring about a severe weather too. I'm going to show you that. And then could we be talking about potentially our first significant cool shot of the season by the end of, what's today? Today's Sunday, the 23rd. So let's say, I don't know, maybe by the 3rd or 4th of September. Maybe 2 weeks from now. Some of the models, some of the long-range stuff is really starting to hint at a really nice, sizable cool down. Like, this is great, but I'm talking way cooler than this as we head into, like, the opening week of September, just in time for football, right? Okay, couldn't get Amy Freeze on me today. She was busy, and I forgot. I'm going to try and get Dave Dombeck in here tomorrow. He's out in Seattle. Remember, we were talking about this before. He was going to take that trip to Seattle. So he's out there seeing the Space Needle and Mount Rainier and all those wonderful things out there in the Pacific Northwest. So I couldn't get him either. But I'm going to have guests this week, and as I fill the schedule in, I'm going to make posts and let you know who's going to be joining me. So today it's just you and me, all right, you and me, guys. And then again, tomorrow I'll start making updates on when I'm going to have guests on the show. Some of the people that I'm trying to get, obviously Amy and Dave. Jessica Boynton's another one. I've been in contact with her. I might be live at Scotland Run on Friday. So there's going to be a lot of things potentially that I'm going to be doing here in the upcoming week. All right. Okay. So we got Mary from Medford in the house. Beth says, been loving this weather here in Schuylkill County. I'll take more of it. Isn't this great? This is such a nice day. It was a little muggy earlier in the day, but then the humidity dropped during the afternoon, and it's just been fabulous out here ever since. It is. Mr. Murphy Pants is over there. He thinks he's guarding the fort. So what I do is I keep the, that's another, by the way, that's Beth is asking that. So I keep the garage doors open, and, he has a clear view, of the neighborhood. He sees people walk by, he sees cars drive by, and he just sits right in the garage. He loves it there, or he loves it here on the grass. He's okay, though. He's doing all right. He's still got the cough. He's still dealing with the bronchitis, but he has good days and bad days. Today wasn't a bad day. Today was a good day. And we're in contact with a cardiologist. So hopefully, I can set this appointment up soon. And the cardiologist is key to all this, because he can't get the proper, I don't even know if proper is the right word. He can't get the medication he needs for the bronchitis to completely knock it out. And the reason why is because he's on these pills for his heart murmur. All right, so we don't, because of the pills he's on for the heart murmur, they can't put him on the pill that they originally wanted to knock the bronchitis out. All right. So because of that, they had to do this inhaler thing, which isn't nearly as effective. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to take him to the cardiologist and say, hey, guys, the cardiologist is going to monitor him. Say, hey, can we take him off this heart pill for a while? Maybe 2-3 weeks. Get this pill in him for the bronchitis, knock the bronchitis out, and then put him back on, the heart med. So we got to, that's what's, I don't know if you guys can see. See him right there? Right, come on. Right there. See him? They're all out. The jumpers are out again. I thought I heard the plane. I can't zoom in, but you can see him going past the tree line. Now, if I was on my cell phone, I'd be able to zoom in. I could tell you what clothes he's wearing, but neat. But that's the latest on Murphy. And, that's really it. That's all that's going on. We had a couple of interesting questions that were brought up today that, let's get into this because I really want to hear your guys' take on this. There's 2 questions that we wanted to know about. One was, who's the greatest country artist of all time? Not including Taylor Swift, because honestly, I don't consider her country. And same thing with Carrie Underwood. I really don't consider her country either. So you take those 2 out of the mix. Let me know in the comment section, who's the greatest country singer, country artist of all time? I mean, I've heard everything from Garth Brooks to, what the heck is his name? Jeez, I can see him playing the guitar. Tim McGraw was another one I heard. Anyway, you guys let me know, and we'll get into that. Also, Eagles records, all right? Let me know what you guys think of the Eagles. Me, Jim, and Jim's my stepdad, and my brother Gary, my twin, we were talking about this. We went through the entire Eagles schedule, and we were trying to put wins and losses together. So I'd like to know what your guys' take on that is, too. All right, so we got George Strait. Sandy says George Strait. Catherine says Chesney. A lot of people said Chesney. And Toby Keith was another one. That's Norman. Johnny Cash. Oh, that's a name. I like Johnny Cash. Elizabeth says Reba McEntire. Now, Lori likes Reba, Elizabeth. She mentioned him. Dolly Parton. Michelle says Dolly Parton. You know what song I really, really like about Dolly Parton? The one she did with Kenny Rogers, The Islands in the Stream. I've always liked that song. Karen says Johnny Cash. Michael says Dolly Parton. Kathy says Chris, and Deb both say Chris Stapleton. Stacy says Kenny Chesney. Definitely Toby. Oh, she throws it definitely in there. Nancy says definitely Toby Keith. Karen says Toby Keith. Let's see who we got. Willie Nelson. That's what Lois says. You know what? I honestly, Frank says Willie Nelson too. Terry says Dolly Parton. I don't know if I know any Willie Nelson song. What's a Willie Nelson song? I don't know if I mean, I'm sure I would recognize it, but I don't know if I know a Willie Nelson song. By the way, take a look to the left of me real quick on the image in front of you here. That's a look at low temperatures tomorrow morning, so let that sink in. That's going to be great. Sandy says Hank Williams. Nancy says Garth Brooks. All right, so that's the guy. That's the other guy I was thinking of, Luke Bryant. Kenny Rogers is Antoinette's favorite. I like Kenny, too. He's got some good songs. Waylon Jennings. Chuck, I'm not sure if I know who that is. On the road. That's right. On the road again. I just can't wait to get on the road again. I forgot about that one. I can't wait to get on the road again. You know what? Let's see. Hold on. Let me see. I know he's got more. All right. I'm going to say Willie Nelson, greatest hits. All right. This should be interesting. Let's see what it says. On the Road Again's number 1. That was probably his biggest. Oh my gosh, how did I forget this one? You Were Always on My Mind. On the Road Again, Always on My Mind. Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain. I don't know if I know that one. Whiskey River. Mamas Don't Let Your Babies Grow Up to Be Cowboys. How did I forget this? Crazy. Georgia on My Mind. To All the Girls I've Loved Before. I've heard that one. That's actually a good song too. Angel Flying Too Close to the Ground. Nightlife. Hello Walls. Still Is Still Moving to Me. Whiskey River. City of New Orleans. Funny How Time Slips Away and the Party's Over. He has a lot more hits than I thought. Eric Church. Johnny Cash. A lot of Johnny Cash. Those are classics. That's what Lynn says. Conway Twitty and Loretta Lynn. Oh, Little Big Town. I've heard of them too. We got Blackwood, New Jersey in the house. Gail says, I hate country. How can you hate country? Hate's a strong word. How about you're just not a fan of country? Hate is such a strong word. Blake Shelton introduced many to country music through The Voice. Blake Shelton's a big time country star too. You're right. Luke Bryant, what's your favorite music? Honestly, I don't discriminate. Seriously, I mean, there's a lot that I like. I do like some country. I do like some hip hop and R&B. I do like dance, and I do like some house, and I do like 80s music and 90s music, and even some 70s. I mean, there's a lot. If someone's asking me what my favorite music is, like what I choose to listen to like on a daily basis is probably 80s music. I really enjoy. I like the bands of the 80s, you know, because you got all these one-hit wonders, but the music was fantastic. And you got Michael Jackson was big, and you know, New Edition was big, and you got all these groups, and I just feel like music changed so dramatically once we got out of the 80s. 80s is probably, I would say 80s is probably my favorite. That yacht rock, that's what Antoinette says. Antoinette says yacht rock. Gail says 70s and 80s. Rascal Flatts. How in the world did I forget about the Rascal Flatts? Good call. Lauren says Alabama. There's another one. How did I forget about them? Mary says she likes yacht rock radio. Good evening, Chris. We got Pennsville in the house. That's Marie, right? Love the 80s. Journey's a great group. I love Journey. The 50s are also great. Janet, I honestly don't know any. I don't know if I know any. I'm sure if I heard 50s. Carly Simon, Jelly Roll, Yacht Rock, 60s. Wow, listen, you guys are all over the place. This is good. All right, how about we do this? Duran Duran. I like Duran Duran. I like the 70s music. Michael McDonald. I like a lot of Michael McDonald songs too. Who's the other guy? I can see his face. Is something in the Silver Bullet Band. What the heck is his name? Oh my gosh, I can see his face and I can't. Something in the Silver Bullet Band. What's the guy's name? He's got so many hits. Love the classics, rocks. Hello, what's the question for today? George Michael, that's another one. Eagles. The question is, who's your favorite country singer of all? Bob Seger. Thank you, Karen. Couldn't remember his name. Bob Seger. That's another one I really like. Steve Miller. Tom Petty. There's another one I like. Yeah, everyone's saying Bob Seger. So the question of the day was, who is your favorite country artist? Not including Taylor Swift or Carrie Underwood, because they kind of took the leap. You know, they're kind of, they were country for a brief period of time. Now I don't know what they are. They're like just everything music. They're just great, you know. Moody Blues, Tiny Tim. All right, let's take a look real quick. Let's get into it. Look at the lows tomorrow morning. Just pick out your location. I expect everybody to be out on their back patio or their back deck or whatever for at least a half hour, 40 minutes before they go to work. Put on a cup of coffee. This is what we were expecting initially 2 Saturdays ago. Remember? And the temperatures kept trending warmer and warmer and warmer. This was it right here. Look at the mid-50s and low humidity. This is the kind of stuff we're going to be able to sit out here just like this. All right? You're going to be able to have the cup of coffee, maybe under a blanket, and just relax and just listen to the birds chirping and just enjoy it, because it's going to feel so crisp, so cool, so fantastic, especially up there heading up the Northeast Extension, getting into the Lehigh Valley. And look at Mount Pocono. Look at the Poconos. 50 degrees. I mean, that's just going to be great. And then look, so that's tomorrow morning. Here's Tuesday morning. Same thing. Wednesday morning. And then Thursday, now this is going to take us into Thursday. Thursday morning is a whole heck of a lot milder, and the dew points are coming up too. And this is what's going to lead to the potential for some pretty big thunderstorms and flash flooding. But again, that's a little ways down the road. We'll get to that in a second. Here's tomorrow morning, Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, let's talk quickly about Thursday. Now, what happened this past Thursday, it was a rare event. Doesn't happen very often. You need a lot of things to come together, and unfortunately they did. They came together. Thursday in the form of an upper level piece of energy, what we call a vortmax, creates the spin. We had winds veering with height, or in other words, they were moving clockwise with height. So they were at the surface, they were at a southerly direction, and then about 5,000 feet up. So they're this way at the surface, and then they're coming in like this at 5,500 feet. So the winds are going like that, okay? That was already your setup prior to the upper level disturbance swinging through. That upper level disturbance, so think about it, your winds are already going like this. The air at the surface is already spinning, right? But it's spinning horizontally. All right, then comes the upper level disturbance swinging through, picks up that horizontal air, and boom, flips it to the vertical. And that's why we got all the tornadoes that we got. And remember, we had the vicious straight line winds too. We had how many severe thunderstorm warnings where we had a considerable destructive tag attached to it? Winds of 70 to 80 miles per hour. That was rare what took place, all right? And some of the returns that we were seeing on the radar were signatures that I hadn't seen since the remnants of Ida, and that was a decade ago. So will this Thursday be like that? No. All right, this is not a repeat. But what there could end up being is a round of severe weather, maybe a tornado. Okay, I can't rule that out, and I'm going to show you why in a second, and flash flooding again. And this is just, remember, we've been talking about this for weeks. This will continue. It's a super strong El Nino. This will continue. There's no stopping this. The way this stops is when the El Nino stops. All right? Or, and think about it, why is Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday so quiet? Because a front came in, knocked the humidity out, right? Okay? Well, humidity creates instability. So if you don't have high heat, you don't have high humidity, even if you do get a disturbance swinging through, it's really difficult to get severe weather, right? But the second that air mass, that cool, comfortable air mass leaves us and the humidity increases with the El Nino that we're in, boom, you're setting the stage again for severe weather. So what we look for right off the bat is CAPE, all right, convective available potential energy, the amount of energy that's available in the atmosphere, all right, simply put. Now, this time of the year, 6, 7, 800, that's it. That's all you need to get severe weather. And honestly, sometimes you don't even need that much, all right, but let's just say, because we've been consistently talking about this, let's say 6 to 800 is what you need to get severe weather in CAPE. All right, so take a look at these numbers here. Right here, that's 8 o'clock in the morning. We're already approaching 1,000. 9, 10, 11. Look at this. Some areas are close to 2,000. All right, and then everything calms down until we get into the night, and then we got some areas approaching 3,000. So you're going to have a ton of energy here. All right, now, next up, let's take a look at the winds. All right, where are they? Okay, here's a look at the winds at the surface. Follow the arrows. Look closely. Do you see the arrow? This is surface winds. They're coming in due south or even southeasterly. You see that? Look closely. See that southeasterly wind? Philadelphia is, I don't, you know what? I'm not going to have a telestrator on this, so I'm not going to be able to show you. But Philadelphia is right there. Honestly, it's right smack dab in the middle of your screen there. All right, if you look at that blob of green, it's just west, all right? Just west is Trenton, and then you go just south of there, and then that's Philadelphia. So your winds at the surface on Thursday are southeasterly, okay? Now, see what they're doing aloft? See that? So we go from southeast to southwest, okay? Now, it's not a lot. But it's veering just enough. You don't need a lot, okay? And so there's the potential that we could get some spinning again. Again, this is nothing at the present time. This looks like nothing even remotely close to what we just dealt with. But, you know, if you get enough spin here to get a spin up, you know, maybe an EF0 or even an EF1, that's certainly strong enough to create a lot of damage, right, and power outages. So we'll have to watch this. There's just enough here, just enough of a veering wind to potentially put some severe weather on the table, okay? So that's a look at the winds. Now let's take a look at what's going on with the futurecast. All right, so this is 8 o'clock in the morning, 11, and then look what happens here during the afternoon. Now, I can't use the high-res stuff because we're still too far out. So I'm using a global model here. But you see how all of this fills in, right? And you see how the colors get darker and darker and darker, the drenching downpours during the afternoon. All right, so that could potentially be a round of very heavy thunderstorms with a round of severe weather attached to it. All right, so as far as rainfall, when all is said and done through that, oh, it just updated. Hold on, I was like, wait a minute. Right, where is it? Right there. it looks like, oh, that's not it either. You know what? Hold on. Where did it go? I'll have to go back. It's loaded up here somewhere. I've got a lot of windows open right now. But anyway, let's go back to, okay, this right here. I'll find that in a second here. I just want to take you out to Sunday, because once Thursday comes and goes, look at this. Look at this mess. This is just for Sunday. That's all this is. Look at the rainfall totals this thing is projecting right now for Sunday. Now, is it correct? Who knows? I mean, it's a week out. We'll see. What I try to tell everybody with the global models is anytime you're beyond 5 days, well, think about all right, I spent 26 years in television, 26, all right? 18 and a half of those were at Channel 6. All right? Hold on one second. Okay, sorry about that. So, when you look at the rainfall totals here, this is just for Sunday. So it shows another potentially 2 inches or more on Sunday. Doesn't take into account Thursday. Thursday we could be looking at 1 to 2. All right, so you get 1 to 2 Thursday, and then another 1 to 2 at least on Sunday. That's another, 2 to 4? It's Marianne, yes, it was a bug. I had to get a bug out. Bug flew in my mouth. I forgot I'm kind of backed up. See? Those are the woods right there. I should have put bug spray on. That's the one thing that I've got to worry about now this time of the year is the bugs love me. I must have sweet skin. So, yes, a bug flew in my mouth, and I didn't want to do that in front of you. I had to get it out. Chris, do you remember the song Video Killed the Radio Star? I do. I do remember that. They play that every now and then on the 80s. Yeah. Paige's getting her bath. All right. Oh, I wanted to show you this before I forget. Look at that. Now, getting back to, as you're looking at this, all right, I want you guys to let this soak in. I know you see that 94, right? I don't like that either. But look at the cool shot behind it. Look at the 6th and the 7th, and actually the 5th, actually the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Look at that. That is nice. That is real. I mean, 71 for the high. Now you're talking my language. So, when I was at Channel 6, I did television for 26 years, and 18 and a half of those were at Channel 6. Almost 22 years I spent in top 5 markets. All right, so I have a lot of experience in big markets. And there was a survey done. This was done a while ago. I don't even remember how many years ago, but this is more than a decade ago. Actually, there wasn't even a such thing as a 7-day yet. So, I want to say this was... No, we just had a 7-day. Let's say this was around 2009, 2010. So, it's about 15 years ago. But, so, technology has changed, so the numbers probably aren't the same now. But then, on the 7-day forecast, day number 5, all right? So, you got today, tomorrow, so on and so forth. Day number 5 on the 7-day forecast was accurate less than 50% of the time back then. Think about that. Less than 50% of the time. That was day 5. So imagine day 6 and day 7. So the point of me saying that is, what I try to tell everybody, the global models, anything beyond 5 days out, take it with a grain of salt. I mean, unless you've got an incredible storm signal, which we did. If you remember with the blizzard that hit, we were getting a huge signal almost a week in advance. All right, that was different. But 90% of the time, you kind of take it with a grain of salt when you're day 6, day 7, and beyond. All right, unless you got a tremendous signal. And so, just kind of take it with a grain of salt. But the thing is, this pattern has been very consistent. All right, and so I wouldn't doubt anything right now that I'm seeing on these models because of the El Nino. All right, look at this. Look at these temperatures. All right, so we've got 82, 83 today. Now, we're going to be a little bit warmer than the 79 and 78 Monday and Tuesday. All right, but many of the surrounding suburbs, maybe the high is only about 80, 81. Really nice stuff. And then look what happens here. It's got this nice little warm-up. Nice. No more heat. I don't want any more heat. 1st of September, we could punch out low to mid-90s. Wham! Then the cold front comes in, and look what happens by the end of the first week of September. That could be our first significant cool shot. First significant cool down of the, well, it's not technically fall, but once we get into September, I call it fall because that is meteorological fall. So that could be our first significant cool down. So I'm hoping so. Okay, so, I mean, that's really going to do it for me. I wanted to, this was the other thing we talked about. We were doing Eagles records. Now, look, watch this, all right? We were doing this. I want to show you guys something. I thought I had this punched up. Eagles schedule 2026. I want to say I came up with, I think I had them at 11-6 or something like that, or 12-5, something like that. All right, ready? So here's their schedule. Wait a minute. What's it doing here? When's their first game? Their first game isn't. What's today? They don't open up with the Bengals, right? What is this? All right, so they've got the Commanders. Yes, okay, now I'm on the right spot. Okay, so they're going to open up with the Commanders. All right, so I said 1-0. Then they're at the Titans. I said 2-0. At the Bears, 3-0 because payback, right? They came here and they beat us last year, so 3-0. Then we're home against the Rams. I'm going to give the Rams the win there, okay? The Rams are loaded. Everyone has them projected to be in the Super Bowl this year. That team is going to be a problem for anybody in the NFC. So let's just say 3-1, okay? Jaguars, 4-1. Panthers, 5-1. Cowboys, 6-1. Commanders, 7-1. Giants, 8-1. And Steelers, I got them at 9-1. All right, but then they go at the Cowboys, so 9-2. They never sweep Dallas. So let's go 9-2. Then, I don't know who this team is. It says to be announced. Cardinals, 11-2. Colts, 12-2. Seahawks. Wow, I mean, I'm looking at this again. Maybe 3 losses. I don't know. That's not a hard schedule. So maybe they're, I don't know, maybe they're 14-3. I don't know. I mean, it's not a very hard schedule. What do you guys got them at? Joyce says 13-4. Hey, Lisa, hold on. Lisa says they're going to lose to my Cowboys. Please tell me you're tuning in from Dallas, right? This is Eagles country up here. Actually, it was funny. When I was forecasting in the West Palm Beach area, that was Eagles country, believe it or not. Huge Philadelphia Eagles following down there. Let's see. Mike says 0-17, Mike. That's a little harsh. Chuck has 12-5. Michael says 11-6 is good. You know what, Chuck? I think I'm going to follow your lead on that. I think I'm going to go 12-5. We got Lansdale, Nicole in the house. What other, let's see what other ones we have here. Forecasting the weather takes preparation. Wrong button. Sorry about that. Let's see. There we go. Let's go up. 5 losses. Here's a 13-4. Chuck says the Bears will be a loss. Melinda, okay, so the Bengals, that is preseason. Okay. I didn't realize. See, what threw me off was how late the football season starts this year. I'm looking at the first game, and it says September, 13th, and I'm like, wait, what? I mean, that was what was throwing me off. We'll be at the Christmas Eve game. That's the game they're playing. See, that's a tough one. That's Houston. We should bury Houston, right? But they've got the best defense in the entire league. So I want to count that as a win, but that's a team where, if you let your guard down for even a second, you wind up losing that game because their defense, honestly, they've got the number one safety in the league. They've got the number 1 ranked corner in the league, and they've got a pass rush that's top 2 or 3 in the league. I mean, it's just, they're so hard to move the ball on. So, but we'll see. We'll see. All right. I should have did sports and weather at the same time. I used to do that in Kentucky, actually. That was back in 2005, 2006, and a part of 2007. So we got 12-5, 11-6, another 12-5, another 11-6, another 12-5. Phillies won today. I saw that big comeback. Joyce says only 4 losses. Phillies are on fire. They are, Karen, but I'm gonna say something about that here in a second. Let's see. Number 1 defensive player, Will Anderson. Yeah, I mean, the team's loaded on defense. So here's the thing, right? Remember before this 9-game winning streak started, what were we talking about? They've got to win the majority of the games, all of the games that they can this month, because next month the schedule is ridiculous. Every team they play this month is awful. Awful. I mean, who'd we beat up on? We just beat the Cardinals, who were 1 game over 500, and two out of their best 3 hitters weren't even playing in this series. All right, so I don't know if that would have made a difference. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. All right, but the Cardinals are a 500 team with 2 of their best players missing. So, but we swept them, which is good. You know, you got to win the games you got to win, right? You can only play the teams that are in front of you. Then I forget who the other team. Oh, we played like Miami. Miami's awful. You know, we swept them, and then we played another team that's just awful. So the schedule, I know we played 2 more teams coming up here that are awful, absolutely awful. And then once we flip the calendar page into September, it gets real, because like we play the end of this month, we play Seattle, and then we play another team that is just so bad. Like we've got to win as many of these games as we can, because there is no break in September at all. It's all Atlanta, Milwaukee, the Dodgers, Houston. I mean, the schedule in September is brutal. When I was looking at it, I was like, who the heck made this schedule for us? So that's it. That's it, Michelle or Michael. It's the Angels. That's the other team they're going to play the end of this month. Horrible. Angels are horrible. So we got to sweep them, and we got to take 2 out of 3 against Seattle. We got to get as many as we can. Right, and then we get into September, and they also play the Tampa Bay Rays. I mean, they are just playing every great team in all of baseball during the month of September. Whoever made this schedule, we got to find them and tell them, look, stop that. So, yeah, it's just brutal. And everyone's saying it here on the comment section. It is absolutely brutal what the schedule makers did to us during the month of September. Brutal. Like, thanks, guys. So, all right, I'll tell you what. I'm going to go inside. I got to say night-nights to my pagey. Tomorrow morning at 7:30, I'm going to be sitting out here in a hoodie, drinking hot chocolate and enjoying the cool, crisp air. It's going to feel great. All right, you guys take care, okay? And I'll see you tomorrow morning at 7:30. Have a good night, everyone. Forecasting the weather takes preparation. So does buying a home. Hello, everyone. I'm meteorologist Chris Sowers, and welcome to Weichert Realtors in Washington Township, the power of yellow. Come join us and experience the full service advantage of our yellow team. Whether you're buying, selling, or refinancing, we've got everything you need under one roof. Real estate, title services, mortgages, and insurance. One team, one trusted name, one-stop shopping for all your real estate needs. Weichert Realtors in Washington Township, the bright choice.